Alright, well, here goes nothing, I guess. I don't even know how to start these anymore. It's been 2 years since my last video. Almost exactly to the date. And I guess I really don't have that much to catch up on. There's not that much that happened, unfortunately. I don't even really have much of an explanation as to why why I went away for so long. It's kind of the same thing. You get out of the habit of doing it, and next thing you know, or you keep putting it off. That's what I kept doing. Like, oh, I'm gonna update. And then today is like the best day since I'm already out and about and on my way back home, and it's like, okay, I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I should just do this. Well, let's see. Yeah, that's the only thing. I probably look different. There's a lot more gray hair now. I'm clearly older. And the last video I did, I was going to that, I had just gone, or just come from that anime convention. So I guess I'll start there and just do like bullet points. But after that, I never did go back to that, unfortunately. That girl that I met there, I do remember saying that I got her number, and I did text her for a little bit here and there. I kind of quickly gave up on that because it seemed like she wasn't too interested, and I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to dating and all that stuff. I don't know at all what I'm doing. I think more than anything, I just kind of really admired her personality and the way she just made friends almost instantly. Like, I really admire people who can do that. And if I had more confidence in myself, I'd be able to do that too. But, like I said, I didn't end up going back to that because after the whole convention dinner, they didn't have any more meetups for like quite a while. It wasn't until the following year, and then they changed the day from Sundays to Saturdays, and Sundays were almost perfect for me because I don't have to work. Saturdays are horrible for me because that's my busiest day ever. I have 2 shifts that I usually work on that day. But I gotta stop saying okay. That car knocked me off balance, and now I lost my thought. But I'm still working at the same job. I'm still living at home. Like I said, not a whole lot has changed for me. Mostly life around me has changed. And
pretty mutual.
Thanks. I don't know why I turned the radio on. Last year, my great-grandmother died. She was 92. And that was a pretty big blow to the family. But she did live really long. I thought she would make it to like 100 and something. But now everybody is just kind of, well, that was the oldest generation. Like my great grandmother, my great grandfather, my dog that lived with them, like they're all gone now, and that sucks. But I still have the rest of my family, and even a new addition like my sister. She has a baby now, so now there's a baby in the house. That took some getting used to, dealing with the crying and stuff. I ended up switching rooms with her, and so now I have like my old room that I grew up in. Still like the same, still small, around the same size, just there's less room in the front. But I like it, at least for now. What else? As far as like work stuff, like I said, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still doing security. I did take on like a tiny bit more responsibilities there. I work one day at this other building that the owner, okay, so the guy who hired us, or that we work for, whatever, he owns 2 buildings, and most of us work, in between both. I just got trained at one of them, and I just stayed there for a while, and then I had been wanting to make extra money and get more overtime hours and stuff like that, so I decided to get trained at the other building, which is like the same sort of thing, but it is bigger, and there's more, it's a little busier. But other than that, it's really time for me to get a new job. The easiest thing for me to do would be to switch to like doing casino security, at least until I find something that's in my field. And I get sick of saying in my field, because sometimes it feels kind of hopeless, like I'm just not gonna, I really have to work towards that, and sometimes I don't know where to even start. I don't really have like a plan or anything when it comes to that. I haven't really been looking because of laziness and just being comfortable where I am. For the most part, yeah, that's been the major thing. Is just being comfortable where I am, even though I know I need to change things. It almost feels like I'm living a Groundhog Day. I do the same sort of thing every single day. Work, home. I don't go out anymore. I haven't been out in a long time. My anxiety is still an issue. I mean, I can barely go. Still same thing, like I can barely go into a store, and I'm still having the same thoughts, same issues with eye contact. Even right now, I'm thinking, I'm not making enough eye contact with the camera. And it's so awkward because I'm doing this by phone. And so if I look straight ahead, I'm not actually looking at the camera. I have to look off to the side, to the right. So it's kind of awkward. So, I feel like I've been rambling for like 10 minutes without any real point. And that's pretty much been my life for the past 2 years. But, and I don't really know what to do or how to change things. Where to go from here. I just feel stuck for the most part. And I don't know. I mean, this is something different. Doing a video. Hopefully nothing goes wrong and I actually get to upload it. But I had to write down notes because knowing me, I'm going to forget everything that I wanted to talk about. I was just talking about my anxiety and stuff, and how that's pretty much the same. In some ways, it's a little better. I think I'm a little better at talking to people, slightly. I still don't think, I'm not a chatty Cathy or Gabby, whatever, gift of gab. I don't have that. You know what? There was a technique that I was trying out a couple months ago, and it was really working. And even now, it still kind of works, but it's almost like whenever I come up with something new, a new way to deal with my anxiety, it's like my brain gets accustomed to that technique, and then it just stops working after a while. And that's sort of what happened. But basically what it was you could say I got in touch with my inner child. I'm not sure how I did it, but I guess I would talk, I have a friend that I talk to, every now and then. And she was mentioning something about how, like, when you're a kid, you're not afraid of anything. You just kind of do what you want. There's no rules, there's no regulations. I mean, of course, you listen to your parents and stuff, but you just kind of do your own thing when you're little. And that's how I was. I was completely different when I was younger. I didn't have an inkling of anxiety. There might have been a little bit of shyness, but that was just barely there. And everything changed when I moved here because it was such a culture shock. And it was just, some people ask me, like, what's so different about being in Detroit versus being in Maryland? And it's like, well, for one thing, I noticed the people were a bit more guarded and more judgmental when I moved here. And that, because I had always been like this really open person and ready to make friends and all that stuff. And then I had tons of friends back where I came from, and then I moved here, and it's like, geez, the first thing, I had to deal with like some bullying and all that for the first time. I had never really dealt with that before. And it wasn't like physical stuff, it was more like emotional stuff. People talking crap about you. And I'm not saying I hold on to all that stuff or hold grudges. Just, it didn't help things because I was already really messed up when I moved here because it was sudden. I didn't come here knowing. I came here while I was on vacation. No, I was in Canada at camp, and then my mom calls me and tells me that we're moving here, and I'm kind of tired of talking about it, really. Well, I'm not tired of talking about it. I feel like people are tired of hearing about it. You're probably tired of hearing it, but yeah, as far as me reconnecting with my child self, that seemed to work for a good while. And what I would do is I would just think about the way I used to be. A lot of times I would say, like, in some alternate dimension, I never moved from Maryland. I grew up. I had, a pretty stable childhood. There were no interruptions. And I probably grew up to be like, the same. Or someone without anxiety. And it's like, well, what is that guy like? I'll never be that guy, right? But then it's like, well, why not? Why can't I be that guy? I am that same kid, so I am essentially that guy. There's other stuff in the way. The anxiety and all this other stuff, it's just an obstacle, it doesn't actually define me. It doesn't feel like the real me. It's like what I was talking about on a video I did a really long time ago called 5 Layers of Me. And this is just like one of those layers. It's an unnecessary layer, but it's more like a barrier that keeps me away from other people. And in my mind thinks it's protecting me, but it's just causing more issues. So that's what I would do. I would think about how I used to be. When I would get anxious, I'd be like, okay, when I was little, these thoughts, if I encountered these thoughts, if I had these thoughts, what would small me, how would he react? And most of the time, the answer I would come up with is he wouldn't react. He wouldn't even pay it any mind. It wouldn't even make sense to him. He couldn't fathom. I couldn't fathom why I would be afraid to talk to someone back then. Just talk to, I can see if it was a girl, because of course me being little back then, I was shy, and I still am now, unfortunately. I wish it was something that I would grow out of, but it's such an issue with me. But I lost my thought again. But yeah. I just didn't have to deal with any of that when I was younger. And so, I'm not going to sit here and explain for another 10 minutes. I'm coming up to 20 minutes. I really didn't intend on being here for this long. But it worked. And sometimes when I still think about that now, I get like a boost of confidence, or my anxiety goes away for a little bit. But it's nothing that it hasn't really set itself in stone as far as being a reliable technique for me. And like I said before, I'm not really sure where to go from here. And yeah, this has just been like an update. I could probably keep talking on and on. But I don't want people to see this video and be like, oh god, it's just 20 minutes. Like, I'm not watching that, I know another thing that I've been taking, well, not lately, but it's something that does work for me, and I may have talked about it before. It's called Kava, Kava, and it pretty much has the same effect as being intoxicated. Like if you drink alcohol and you get buzzed up, it does buzz you up. And it comes in like capsules and paste, and I've been taking it very rarely. The powder, it's called, like, you have to order it because it grows in Hawaii and other places way out. And you take the powder and you put it in like water, or you can put it in your favorite beverage or whatever. It tastes like crap. It really tastes horrible. And that's been the only reason why I don't take it more. But when I did take it the first time, because I had experimented with the capsules, they didn't really work for me too well. The paste relaxed my muscles and made my tongue feel numb. But that's about it. But then I took the powder, and it just it's like everything suddenly, after 20 minutes, I didn't feel anything until then, and then suddenly it was like I started to notice things more. I felt more clear-headed. I felt like I could speak better, I felt more connected to everything. I mean, even just taking a walk outside, I can look at the ground and I can see all these little details that I never noticed before. I could look at the trees and the leaves, and it was quite an enlightening experience. It's something that I would love to take before meditating, because it really puts you in such a mellow sort of mood. And it's an herb that grows, like I said, in Hawaii and other islands. And if it weren't for the taste, I would definitely take it more. I've been trying to figure out a way to get back into taking it and somehow making it so that researching ways that it'll taste better. Because lately, or I shouldn't say lately, but the way I usually take it is I mix 5 or 6 teaspoons into a glass of Nesquik, the chocolate powder, and then I just drink it like that. And I usually have to choke it down. But I hear that if you use more water, it's better that way. But I don't know how many of you have heard of this, or if you know of anything else that actually works with helping with anxiety besides alcohol or pharmaceutical drugs, because that's another thing that I had thought about. Even the alcohol, sometimes I do feel, I've never been drunk before. I've been buzzed, but that's about it. And sometimes I do think hey, maybe a drink here and there, that would help things. Or maybe go to the doctor and get on medication. I know that helps some people. I don't really want to do that. I never have wanted to do that because of the side effects. And not only that, but I feel like I might become dependent on them. And that's not something I want to do. And maybe it's a pride thing too. I don't know. I recently had 2 of my wisdom teeth out, and I still need 1 more out. And that's actually where I'm just coming from now. I just went for a post-op thing, because last week I had my second one out. And apparently my bones are so dense, it took him so long to drill the tooth out. It took long, and it was quite a procedure. Actually, the sound of a dental drill, I think it traumatized me a little bit, I don't want to go back there, but I have to. The one on this side, my tooth in the back, that's been the one that's been giving me such trouble, pain to where I can barely open my jaw. But so after they get the tooth out, they give you medication, they give you painkillers, and this was the first time that I had been on a really strong painkiller, like Vicodin or something. It was the generic version of that or something. and I would take that and another one together, and it's like, I don't like taking pills, but the pain after was just excruciating. Once the numbness wears off, it's horrible. I mean, you have like a hole in your mouth, and it's basically a giant wound, you know? Not to be disgusting, but so these painkillers, I could see why people get addicted to those. Because when I would take them, it would make me feel like nothing mattered. Like it wouldn't get rid of my anxiety, but it would definitely lessen it significantly. But it made me feel really drugged up. Like, I don't know, it was pretty weird. But I liked the feeling. And it even got, I wasn't abusing them or anything. I would never do anything like that. But there were moments where I'd be like, hey, I could just take a pill and I can be happy again. Because it would make you feel like happier. Which is a weird effect. I don't know what exactly it does to your brain. But yeah, I said I was going to end this video 6 minutes ago, and now it's almost a half hour. So just an update on everything that's going on or not going on with me. Like I said, everything's still the same. I'm alive. I know I got some comments before saying, like I'm dead. I'm clearly not dead. I just look older. That's about it. And I guess that's about it. So, on that note, I shall bid you adieu until next time. Which I hope there's going to be next time. I don't want to go 2 years without doing a video, but I always say like, oh, I'm going to start keeping up with them, and then I never do. So if I just don't say anything, don't make any promises, then like maybe it'll be easier for me to do them more. I don't know. More frequently, but I'm even afraid to say that. But yeah, okay, see you later.